Hello there. Welcome to Simple Sequence 2 Hip Openers. You are listening to the voice of Zach Beach. To begin, find yourself laying down comfortably on your mat in the Shavasana position. Feel the points of contact that your body has with the mat and melt into those points of contact. Take a few moments to take a few deep breaths and come into this moment, allowing everything to be exactly as it is. On your next inhale, reach your arms above your head, interlace your fingers, turn the palms up and stretch from your fingers to your toes, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Taking your right knee and hugging your right knee into your chest. Feel a release in your lower back. Next, come into a half happy baby pose by reaching your right arm along the inside of your right leg and grabbing the outside of your right foot. Opening up your leg to 90 degrees, shrug your right shoulder down to deepen the stretch. From here, come to a figure 4 stretch by bending your right leg, placing the right ankle on your left thigh, and hugging your left knee into your chest. Next, come into the twist by crossing your right leg completely over your left and allowing your knees to fall to the left as you look to the right with your arms out wide like a T. Slowly coming back to center, extend your right leg to the sky and interlace your fingers behind your right leg. Extending your left leg out, take a few breaths here, breathing into the hamstring stretch. Releasing your right leg and hugging your right knee into your chest. Switch legs and hug your left knee into your chest as you extend your right leg out. Feel your lower back release here. Next, come into a half happy baby by grabbing the outside of your left foot with your left hand. Opening the leg up to 90 degrees, shrug your left shoulder towards the ground. Come into the figure 4 stretch by taking your left ankle on your right thigh and hugging your right knee into your chest. Crossing your left leg over the right, come into the twist by letting your knees fall to the right as you look to the left, arms out wide. Slowly coming back to center, extend your left leg to the sky and interlace your fingers behind your left leg, extending your right leg out. Taking a few breaths here in the stretch. Hugging your left knee into your chest one more time. And take both knees into your chest. Rock forward and back, coming up onto all fours. Take your knees wide and take your big toes together, sitting back on your heels for a child's pose. Taking a few deep breaths here in your child's pose. From child's pose, come forward into a tabletop, tuck your toes, and take your hips high to the sky for a downward dog. Taking your right leg as high as you can to the sky, bend your right leg and roll the right hip open, stacking the right hip on top of the left, taking the knee as high as you can to the sky. Next, we'll move our right knee in a big figure 8. It'll go out to the right, tap your left elbow, tap your right elbow, and take the knee back up high to the sky. Do that 4 or 5 times to further warm up the hip joint. After your 5th time, extend the right leg high to the sky and plant the right foot between your hands. Take both hands to your right thigh and press yourself forward to feel an opening in your left hip. Taking the hands to the mat, drop your hips back and fold over your front leg. Next, come into a lizard stretch by pointing your right toes out, taking the right hand to the inside of your right leg, and bending the right knee out to the right. You may stay on your hands, or you may lower down to your elbows. Walking your hands back, tucking your left toes. Once again, take the right leg high to the sky. This time you have the option to flip yourself over for a wild thing variation. And returning to your downward dog. For the other leg, take the left leg high to the sky, bend the left leg, roll the left hip open, reach your knee as high as you can. From here, we'll do those same figure 8s as before. So we'll swing the left knee out to the left, tap the right elbow, tap the left elbow, and swing the leg back up high to the sky. Try to make the movement as fluid as possible. After your 5th one, lift the left leg high to the sky and plant the left foot between your hands, taking both hands to your left thigh. Taking both hands to the mat, Drop your hips back, folding over your front leg. Next, come into your lizard posture by pointing your left toes out, taking your left hand to the inside of your left leg, and bending your left knee out to the left. You may stay on your hands, perhaps lower down to your elbows. And to come out of this lizard pose, slowly walk your hands back, planting the hands, tucking your right toes under, take your left knee high to the sky, once again rolling your left hip open with the option to flip yourself over for a wild thing. All together, meeting in downward facing dog. From downward dog, take your right leg high to the sky, and set up for pigeon pose by taking your right knee to your right wrist and ankle to your left wrist. Slowly lowering yourself down and breathing into the hip stretch. To come out of your pigeon pose, walk your hands back and drop on to your right hip. And come to cow-faced pose by swinging your left foot all the way around to your right hip. Try your best to stack your knees one on top of the other and take your feet as close as you can to the outer edges of your hips, folding forward from here. To come out of this pose, simply take your hands out in front of you and step your feet back to downward facing dog. For the other leg, lift your left leg high to the sky and come into a pigeon pose by taking left knee to left wrist and ankle to your right wrist. Folding forward from here, breathe into the hip stretch. To come out of this pigeon pose, walk your hands back, lower onto your left hip, and swing your right foot all the way around to your left hip. Stacking your knees, drawing the feet in, and folding forward over your knees. Taking a few breaths here. And for our final stretch, come into a butterfly pose. Taking the hands behind you, taking the soles of the feet together, coming forward, grabbing your feet, and folding forward. Slowly coming up, and with your open hips, find yourself sitting in a cross-legged position or half lotus or a full lotus position. Resting your hands in your lap or on your knees, return to your breath and finish this practice with an expression of gratitude. First to yourself, thanking yourself for giving your mind, heart, and body the benefits of a yoga practice. And then extending that gratitude out into the world and appreciating the things in your life that bring you joy. The light and love in me honors the light and love in you. Namaste.